The story of Prophet Elijah, according to the Bible. Introduction. Elijah the prophet was one of the most powerful and fearless men of God in the Old Testament. He appeared during a dark time in Israel's history, when King Ahab and Queen Jezebel led the people into idolatry, especially the worship of Baal, a false god. Elijah's life was marked by miracles, confrontation with evil, and deep communion with God. 1. Elijah appears and proclaims drought. Elijah from Tishbe in Gilead first appears in 1 Kings 17:1 with a bold declaration. As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives, whom I serve, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years except at my word. This was a direct challenge to Baal, the supposed god of rain. Elijah was declaring that only the God of Israel controls nature. 2. Miracle with the widow of Zarephath. During the drought, God sent Elijah to a widow in Zarephath. She had only a handful of flour and a little oil left, preparing for her last meal with her son. But Elijah told her, "First make a small loaf of bread for me, then make something for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord says, the jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry." 1 Kings 17:13-14. And it happened exactly as Elijah said. The food never ran out until the drought ended. 3. Raising the widow's son from the dead. Later, the widow's son became ill and died. Elijah cried out to God, "Lord my God, let this boy's life return to him." 1 Kings 17:21. God heard Elijah's prayer, and the boy came back to life. This was the first recorded resurrection in the Bible. 4. Mount Carmel showdown with the prophets of Baal. In 1 Kings 18, Elijah confronted 450 prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. Both sides would prepare a sacrifice. The God who answered by fire would be the true God. The prophets of Baal cried out all day, no response. Then Elijah prayed, "Answer me, Lord, so these people will know that you, Lord, are God." 1 Kings 18:37. Fire fell from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, and even the water around it. The people fell face down and cried, "The Lord, He is God! The Lord, He is God!" Elijah then ordered the execution of all the false prophets. 5. Elijah flees from Jezebel. After hearing about the death of her prophets, Queen Jezebel threatened Elijah's life. Terrified, Elijah fled into the wilderness, sat under a broom tree, and prayed to die. "I have had enough, Lord, take my life." 1 Kings 19:4. But God sent an angel with food and water, strengthening him for a journey of 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Horeb. 6. God speaks in a gentle whisper. At Mount Horeb, Elijah hid in a cave. He felt alone and discouraged. Then God said he would pass by. There came a windstorm, an earthquake, and a fire, but God was not in any of them. Finally, there came a gentle whisper. 1 Kings 19:12. God spoke to Elijah in the whisper, teaching him that divine power is not always shown through dramatic signs, but often through quiet guidance. 7. Elisha chosen as Elijah's successor. God instructed Elijah to anoint Elisha as his prophetic successor. Elisha left everything to follow Elijah and became his devoted servant. Elisha then set out to follow Elijah and became his servant. 1 Kings 19:21. 8. Elijah taken to heaven in a chariot of fire. Finally, in 2 Kings 2, Elijah's earthly mission came to an end. At the Jordan River, he struck the water with his cloak, and the river parted. He and Elisha crossed on dry ground. Then suddenly, a chariot of fire and horses of fire appeared and separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. 2 Kings 2:11. Elijah was one of the only two people in the Bible, besides Enoch, who never died, but was taken directly to heaven. 9. Elijah's legacy in the New Testament. Elijah is one of the greatest prophets in Jewish and Christian traditions. In the New Testament, John the Baptist came in the spirit and power of Elijah. Jesus was mistaken by some as Elijah returned. At the transfiguration of Jesus, Elijah appeared with Moses, Matthew 17:3. Conclusion. The story of Elijah is a powerful testimony of faith, courage, prayer, and obedience. He stood boldly against evil, performed miracles, and walked so closely with God that he was taken to heaven without tasting death. Elijah's life reminds us, God answers prayer. God is more powerful than any idol. We are never alone, even in despair. Sometimes God speaks not in thunder, but in whispers.